Thanks for watching. Merkabah Scholar Society members, check your emails for the live stream for the personal economics video. So you guys got that video to download now. Check your email for the link. Also, links are in the description for people still trying to join the society. You have until the app comes out. The price will go up to $500 then, so you still have time. Also, link in the description for consultations. Book just about every single day for November. There's a few spots left, but I'm going to do half of December. So you guys should book now if you want to book a consultation, which is a one-on-one with me, basically video chat. So make sure you guys fill up those spots. And again, if the spot looks like it's available, it's probably not. I'll let you know once you book if that spot is available. If you receive an email, that means you have to probably change the date in time, but we'll take care of that if that happens. So what's up there is probably okay, but just be aware that it might not be available. If you book it, you might have to change that time. So keep your schedule kind of open if you want to book a consultation. But real quick, for the people who asked about the books, what's going on with the process. So these are motions I just filed in court on Monday. So this person wants to stretch this case out, as I said they would, but these are motions that I filed in court on Monday, Justice Court, to basically, rectify the situation and get it out quicker. You see me here. I went with my Eagles jersey on after I had, court on Monday. And then, of course, I had to come back and file my motions. So, yeah, the Eagles just kicked Dallas' butt. So I came in my Eagles jersey representing. But, yeah, as I said, once this is taken care of, you guys will get books. Those who have been waiting, there's only about 70 people. But you guys will get it. It's still in the court process, and I'll keep you guys posted. So let's get into this video. A lot of important stuff to get into. So if you're paying attention and you've been watching the news, you are scratching your head. You are probably panicked and worried, especially for all the people who supported Trump. Like, really? Like, do you see what they're talking about? So now, okay, you had all this time to basically understand the plan of Trump. Trump's plan, his agenda, what he was going to be putting in place to implement in day one. So most of the things you guys been hearing about and they've been talking about a lot is, of course, this mass deportation where he wants to deport 1 million people a year, right? So the thing is, you got to look at everything that's surrounding that deportation plan, because there's some hidden stuff in there that lets you see what direction they're probably going to want to go in. So they haven't been 100% clear on who is being deported. The whole thing is, illegal immigrants, undocumented workers, so on and so forth, all of the normal stuff. But this is a little bit more ramped up if you're paying attention to what he's trying to do. Is almost impossible to do with the workforce that we have today. If you live on the West Coast, already, especially here in Vegas, there's already a worker shortage. A lot of people are not working. A lot of people are needed to work. And the thing is, one, the entrepreneurial spirit has taken over. A lot of people running their own business. A lot of people doing their own things, especially here on the West Coast where the Mexicans got the hustle. They hustle, they sell, they make money, they do their thing. And they're going to have jobs, they're going to work. It's just how it is. So the thing is, one, the people who are undocumented, them being so worried about being deported, that's been the big hold on, jobs, people, workers, basically. Because one, a lot of them looking at it as a trap to basically you go into a job that is, going to bring you on. And eventually you're going to end up in the hands of immigration because of what's happening. So a lot of people are holding back since this whole push for deportation has been going on and immigration has been going on for a long time. It's a push and it's scaring the undocumented workers. So now, remember before, you can go to Home Depot and stuff like that. It's a whole group of people out there that's willing to work. Now, most of them are all documented. It's not the same as before. The workforce, where you had a lot of these, especially contractors, who was out there hiring illegals and immigrants, would have you to work and do a lot of labor jobs. It's not the same. The people who probably had committed workers, people who they can trust, might be still working, but for the most part, those guys are scared and they are not working. Now you pay attention to how they're going to do this. One, there's not enough workers. There's not a large enough police force or immigration force to enforce what he's trying to do. So now they're talking about, National Guard, the military, and even getting a police force on a state and local level to start enforcing and, doing, kicking down doors, dragging people out of bars, barbershops, what have you, straight up deportation, bringing back some of the old style rules where they can basically stop you and say, hey, let me see your papers. If you look like you're an illegal, or if there's an issue with a pullover and you're an illegal, it's a problem. So this is one of the things that people was facing with DACA. You guys remember, Bush, he a whole lot of fight back with immigration, and everything was just crazy under Bush, and nobody knew what was going to happen. Obama becomes president, in 2012, boom, you get DACA, right? And DACA is basically, you guys already know what it is, but it's basically, if your parents fled a country and brought you here illegally, and then now you went through the school system, you don't have any criminal records or criminal activity or what have you, and then now you're old enough to go out into the workforce and work, now you can work with DACA. Before, it was hard for you to even get in college or get a job because you was basically illegal, brought here illegally as a minor. But with DACA allowed these people to graduate college and get a job and work, right? So repealing that, which Trump promised to repeal it, he didn't do it his first term, but it's on the table and they're talking about repealing it. If that's repealed, it's going to basically make, hundreds of thousands of people illegals. So we're talking about people right now that's at their jobs, working comfortably, feeding their family. They got to live in fear every single day that this thing is going to be repealed. And these people are going to be basically illegal immigrants fighting for their lives, running, hiding, because they get pulled over and everything's not right. They get deported right there on the spot. So now if you look at what happened, Trump becomes president. I told you guys stocks are going to go up, which they did. See Bitcoin rise, right? But also private prison industry stocks rose. And we knew that was going to happen because of his policy. When you start paying attention to policy ahead of time, you know what's going to happen, which is how I told you guys, pay attention to certain stocks and certain companies, people who are loyal, you're going to see what's going to happen. Everything I'm talking about here is going to sound official, but if you're conscious, you understand behind the scenes it's some bullshit. But official, this isn't part of an agenda. So again, as I said before, Kamala was put in there to basically be, just a distraction, some bullshit, or what have you. But there's no way in the world that a Democratic Party would put her as the nomination in good faith that she would actually have a chance of winning. Like, the red carpet has basically been rolled out for Trump. And everything he's getting ready to do is right there. And then now, all of a sudden now, they're giving you a lot more. The media is talking about CS, NBC, ABC. All these guys are coming out more and just talking about more of his policies and what he's going to implement when he basically takes the office. So you're paying attention, you're looking at it. Private prison stock went up, right? Private prisons are going to be tasked to house these immigrants, because what happened with Biden was pushing up the law to basically make these private prisons not under government and stop doing business with these private prisons with the judicial system, because it's a big conflict of interest, right? Stocks were going down. It was not a good look. And we're talking about business, man. We're talking about business, which is running this country. This is a fascist country, fascist government, right? It's why the fascist is right there in in Congress. They are for the corporation, by the corporation, plain and simple. Lobbyists, loyalists, the whole nine, they get degrees in hands, they're getting what they want. But there's a lot of huge corporations, a lot of huge people that's invested in private prisons. There's no way they're going to let it fail. So you have to flip this thing around somehow, some way. Trump understands that. So now you'll have these private prisons that's going to be basically used as detention centers. And they're actually building more detention centers to start housing these illegals. Because if you understand how this stuff works, one, it's not just you can say we're going to deport these people back to their country or countries. The countries have to be in with the whole process. You have to get permission from these countries. You to just, using officials to deport these people back to a country who don't even really know if they're supposed to be there. So there has to be, talks. There has to be an agreement with these other countries, especially Mexico, of course, which we have an agreement with Mexico, but this is going to be a little bit different, to have this mass deportation. So look at it from Mexico's standpoint, where, okay, you want to send 1 million people a year, possibly 1 million Mexicans a year, or 100,000, it don't matter. That's a lot of people a year for you to send back here for what? For what? They was already doing what they was doing, surviving in your country. You want to bring them back here and subject them to what? Where they going to work? It's all we already packed as it is. Like, what are they going to do? It's a huge problem. So we'll see, what happens with that. But you're starting to pay attention and look at the policies and what's going on and what's happening. There's a lot to dig into. But you got to pay attention to what's being said in this whole bill. That's whatever he passes, whatever he pushes, is always that inside jargon that you got to question and say, why is this in there? And is this really for illegal immigrants? Or is this going to be something that's going to halt or mess with everybody? So Mexico has a new president, that's one. And that's, how that situation goes. You got to look at that. Then we look at what they're talking about as far as with this new immigration law, whatever they're going to put in place to get these people out of here. So within that whole talk, they're talking about one, the national security, basically interest. You're a national security interest. You're an interest to national security. Something we all heard before, but when you use it in this whole form of immigration, how much liberty are you going to give that? And then who is it going to pertain to? So if I'm a national security interest, are my rights going to be violated if I'm legal? And if I'm illegal, do I have any rights? And that's in there. So if you're a national security interest for any reason, they'll be able to detain you and put you in these prisons for whatever reason. So is that going to pertain to just illegals, or is something that's already pertaining to everybody? If you really think about it, you don't really care who you are, where you're from. If you're a national security interest, they'll come and detain you for whatever reason and talk to you for whatever reason. So that's in there. So you look at this and you look at everything that's surrounding his presidency and everything that's getting ready to come into place. And then the biggest thing, of course, they're talking about is who he's appointing, right? Come on. It's ridiculous. So the biggest one, of course, is the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. So this is dude has a show on Fox News or what have you. If you just Google him and look at some of his videos, one, he's 44, he's 2 years older than me. This dude is a veteran of Army National Guard. I'm just going to lay that right there, National Guard. And I mean, just look at his videos. The guy's a joke. Are you serious? This is going to be our Secretary of Defense. This 44-year-old who sometimes act like he's 27, 26, and there's no way this dude is qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. Red flag. Red flag. So that's one. Marco Rubio. Are you kidding me? Secretary of State. And this dude is going to be Secretary of State. Come on. Then Mike Huckabee being the ambassador to Israel. The dude who basically said the Palestinians don't exist. A Palestinian, there's no such thing as a Palestinian. And he's into the whole, the whole, end times prophecy of Israel and Israel's role in the prophecy. And when you really pay attention to what this dude is about, he's about the end of the world and end time prophecy and everything like that. This dude is who you choose to be the ambassador to Israel, playing along with everything that's to come with Israel and Palestine. Not just that, Trump's basically, willingness to turn his back on what these politicians in Israel do. So now, kind of sort of Biden held them in check, saying we're not going to do this. Remember, he was really active with that whole thing. Trump is not going to do anything. They happy with Trump being in it because Trump never really messed with Israel on anything. So the people that's in power that's sitting there are so happy because they're about to go ham on the Palestinians, and Trump is not going to do anything about it. So people are like, it's about to be nuts when you pay attention. But I told you guys all this. It's about to be crazy. The fact that you have the news media putting out so much on this is just the crazy part, and how they're talking about it. People are worried, scared. Look at how many people quit. There's a lot of people that's already leaving political positions and high-ranking positions in government, quitting before he comes in. This dude has had time to sit and think and prepare, ready to get rid of his enemies. All the people who talk shit. Remember, people from his first administration who turned their back and, basically turned their back on him, was talking shit about him, gone. He's already saying these people are going to be out of here by 2026. They're going to be gone. When their time is up, they won't be back in office. He's also trying to put laws in place to get rid of a lot of people who he can't fire. So he'll be able to fire him. He's putting people in positions that's ass kissers, that's supporters, that's a part of the whole MAGA society and all these people that's been about that life. That's who he's putting in power right now. So my whole thing was like, why was Spanish people, especially on the West Coast, Mexicans, why was they so happy about Trump? Why was people so hyped about this dude becoming president, especially if you have family members that are illegals? It's this thing with Mexicans where they are just so proud to be American. They want to do everything by the book. And they try to be as white as possible a lot of times when it comes to politics, to vote on the side of what they believe white people want or what have you. They try to buck dance and all that on a different level. And I just don't understand. I don't get it. Why you would want this dude to be in so bad. One, remember, you had with Obama, at least Obama gave you DACA. To get these kids who have absolutely no clue what was going on when they was born into this country to be able to grow up and work, right? That's 2012. 2014, what did Obama do? He tried to stretch DACA to include their parents, right? And people who were older, to basically, hey, you've been in here all this time. You've been working. You don't have any felonies, no crime or anything like that. You should be allowed to stay. What happened? You had about, 27 states sue the government to basically not let this happen. And they won. You guys heard about all this already. It's been all over internet, all over TV. And they won. And Obama basically had to leave that alone. And Trump becomes president in 2016. He didn't do anything about DACA. DACA is still fine to this day. But it's going to be going soon, according to him. And it's the same thing. There are these states that do not want this to happen. And let me tell you why, because a lot of you guys are going to figure this out already. But a lot of people don't understand, like, what is that really about? One, you have a lot of these states that's just built on American corporations and companies, right? American, workforce, power. These people have hiring agencies. They have a lot of companies and corporations that do a lot of work, unions, and so on and so forth, right? Undocumented workers is a big problem for a lot of these companies that's competitors to these people that can basically use undocumented workforces to go ahead and, work. I've been around that personally in my life where I've seen it before. I remember I used to work for a maintenance company, right? And we were operating at Cabrini College, right, in Pennsylvania. And once the company got bought out, our contract was up, and it's a new company that came in. Excuse me. A new company that came in. And this new company basically fired all of us. we all got fired. It was over. It was like, okay, you're fired. We'll have new people coming in. And that was the end of our job. So we basically was there working, knowing we were going to be fired. This was like our last week to work, right? So that happened, right? And the people who came in to replace us was a busload of undocumented workers. They came in to do the work, and the school just wasn't having it. It was like, okay, it was like iffy with the paperwork, and the school didn't want to deal with it. So they was like, no, you can't hire these people. So they came back and gave all of us a raise to stay, right? I never forget that. And it was like, I got basically promoted. It was like, basically running the place, you might as well say. And again, I understand that's what happens. It's a big problem, and it's a lot of companies that don't want to deal with undocumented workers for a lot of different reasons. But you have these states, those 27 states that basically sued, that is dealing with all that. You got people in high positions that are in business that don't want to deal with that. The workers are a problem. It's an issue. But there's also a deeper flip side to it if you understand, what I talk about on a lot of my videos. So again, one, pay attention, man. You got to get rid of these people. You got to, why make it harder for yourself if your goal is to eventually, be able to control the people once a, let's just say civil war or whatnot happens here? Why do you want to deal with undocumented people? Why do you want to deal with extra people who you can't even know who the hell they are? So this is just phase one, part of it. One, you got to get rid of these people. You don't know how many it is. So now they're about to go through the painstaking process of figuring all this out. I mean, they talk about street teams. They're talking about kicking in doors. They're talking about it being crazy. Them going after these people, and who knows how that's going to be. These people going to be fighting. What's going to happen? It's going to be crazy. So another thing that they're saying, repealing DACA one, but then also repealing that whole, process. So you can go ahead and file paperwork to stay longer and this and that. Now they're not even hearing the paperwork. So it's basically, if they're coming for you, that's it. You can't go apply for nothing to stay longer. Nothing is going to save your ass. They're getting you out of here. So, with that going on, them making it less people to worry about if shit hits the fan, if you understand what I mean. And I had a bunch of people hit me up. What happened with Trump? And I thought he got indicted and they ain't supposed to go to jail and this and that. So first off, one, it's like Trump seeing this coming. It's just crazy. Remember, Trump basically is responsible for 6 members of the Supreme Court being there, and they're all Republicans, right? And you have the 3 Democrats. So that's his people, right? So remember, Jack Smith, the whole special prosecutor or whatever, went out there and, Trump, he gets found guilty, indicted, what happened, found guilty, and everybody's waiting for him to be sentenced and everything like that. Trump literally walked up there and said, dude, you can't fucking prosecute me for shit that I do, that is official president business. No matter if it means me greasing a couple palms, me bribing a couple people, whatever it is to steal an election, whatever the hell I got to do, you can't do anything about it if I'm doing that in the capacity as president. You can't prosecute me on that, right? And the Supreme Court member said, okay, you're right. And that's it. So here he is. So it's crazy. So they basically gave him do whatever the fuck you want as president, free card. And that's going to come into play. A lot of this stuff is going to come into play. So pay attention, wrap it all up. Everything that you're looking at is setting the stage for some major shit happening here that I'm going to touch on later on. I just want to just put this word out and just have you looking at what I'm looking at right now. And hopefully you seeing the same exact shit. So that's in place, right? Everything else in place. Tariffs. People sitting up here, y'all complaining about what, oh yeah, food is high as shit now under Biden. You go to Walmart, it's like triple what it cost a few years ago under Biden. We understand that. But this dude is talking about putting a 10% tariffs on imports that's coming into the U.S. 60% if it's coming from China. Do y'all understand what this means, man? Everything comes from China. So you're basically going to be raising the price on it. It's about to get ridiculous. So first of all, China's not going to like this. Because you're going to have those companies that can afford to pay for it if it's worth it, but they're going to have to increase the price on our side. So stuff is going to go the fuck up if it's coming from China. Now, the whole point of this is to say we need to have these tariffs because, we should have American manufacturers that's producing our products, right? That's the whole look of it all, that this is going to somehow force these, major corporations and companies to start building American manufacturing plants and doing American manufacturing, building and creating stuff here in America. And that's why a lot of people who are MAGA is a part of this whole thing. And that's why they like it, because it's like, make America great again, build here. We need to be building our own. That goes with the whole thing. But it's suspect as fuck, because it just don't make sense as a business. If you're looking at it, there's something that has to be weaned down, and you need to create the infrastructure first before you do this. You need to create the manufacturing plants before you do this. You need to make sure you can provide the stuff that we can't have here. It's certain stuff that we just don't make that we get from overseas. It's stuff that we just don't grow here that we get from overseas in other countries. So you got to make sure this stuff is in place that we can have, and these things that we're going to want and need before you do something like this and make it hard. So we're going to see prices increase. I think about decreasing. It's going to go up. But supposedly the economy doing better is going to make up for it. And it's going to be more money, so on and so forth. Not for you motherfuckers that's under middle class. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be hard for the middle class as well. This is going to benefit the rich. So yeah, man, hopefully you guys are paying attention. This is stuff I talked about before. As far as with crypto, as I said, Trump is going to be good for that. He's going to be good for that. He's going to be good for a rise in, the economy. Economics will be better, but it's going to be better for the rich. You got to understand that. Everything that he talked about sounds all well and good, but it's going to benefit wealthy people. Pay attention. Like, I don't understand how people just sitting back thinking that, did you look at the policies? People really hype and thinking, it's going to be great under Trump. It wasn't that great before when he was. It was okay if you had money. Stuff was a little bit cheaper, but it wasn't that great. What are you talking about? It's never been great. It's never been what it's supposed to be, what a president that's supposed to be for the people, by the people, as I said. It's never been that, man. It's never been that way. It's like, are you serious? How are we paying for electric and gas, water? This is what you got to look at. And that's like the biggest thing. And I talked about this a lot. There's no way. And it's one of the things that at least Trump addressed, and people that surrounded him is addressing that. Because if he does this, which now since he's been elected, I haven't heard anything about it. Definitely something smart to run on. But still, if it's done, it would make everything balance out. Because if you get rid of, first of all, we shouldn't be paying for water, electric, gas monthly. That's just bullshit. Those are natural resources that are eternal. Nobody owns that shit. We all own it. We shouldn't be paying monthly bills. Gas, you should only be paying your internet. We shouldn't be paying internet and phone. You shouldn't be paying that. I told you guys, in Sweden, there's no phone bill in Sweden. You buy your phone, that's it. Buy your phone, that's it. You put a SIM card in it, you talk to anybody in the country. Because you need a phone. Communication, internet, and phone is essential to living in a society. These are basic human needs, food, stuff like that. I can understand you having to buy food or what have you. That's understandable. But as far as water, gas, and electric, we should not be paying that fucking bill every month. That's some bullshit. In Sweden, at least they pay it every 3 months. So only 4 times a year you're paying utilities in Sweden. So it's crazy for us to pay that. So if they can do something about that, that's crazy, because they're letting these corporations take a big bite of it out of our asses, out of our money every fucking month for just stupid stuff. It's eternal. You don't have to produce this stuff. You're not making it. It's eternal. This is natural resources. We're never going to lose. It's not going nowhere. Why are we paying so much monthly for this stuff? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. One, as I talked about before, our taxes. We pay enough in taxes as a country, in your state and on a local level. We pay enough in taxes a year to take care of all of our basic and essential needs. Plain and simple. There's no way in the world we should be paying for any of this stuff. Our taxes more than cover every fucking thing that we need in this country. And we're talking about billions a day we're paying. You got to do the math. I know it sounds crazy, but do the math, man. If you look at every time, go just walk in Walmart. Look at all that tax money in there. Think about whenever you go to the store. You go to the store every single day, most of us. Or it's people in stores every single day, even if it's not you. Just think about that. That's constant tax money. It's got our paychecks. We're paying it every day. It's so much money. We're talking about that times millions. Just to be conservative, let's just say 50 million people a day is paying taxes, right? 50 million. And if you put a dollar amount on that, it's going to be in the billions a day, at least $1 billion a day. I mean, it's more than enough. As they talked about this before as well. It only takes $3 billion a year added to the budget that would eliminate homelessness in this country. They won't do it, but they'll give 30 billion, 20 billion to a foreign country for foreign aid. Make it make sense. So again, this stuff is all bullshit. It's rigged. The agenda is set. Forget all the stuff that you've seen on the news and all the rhetoric and all the stuff they talk about agenda, this plan, A, B, C, D. It's all been pre-implemented. They're just playing it out. It's WWE, man. They're reading the script. It's all bullshit. This stuff is already put in place. It may look as if this is going to be done, but it's already set. And you got to deal with it. But again, for the people who just follow the politics and thinking, something is magically going to change that has never happened in the history of the presidency, well, in your lifetime at least, we haven't seen no president who ran on a policy actually implement that policy to where it benefited the people as a whole. Never. We haven't seen it. Again, the simple fact that we are paying utility bills. The fuck? Utility bills. The fact that we're paying that should tell you that this government is crooked. They're for the corporations. Because if you're for the people, there's no way we're paying for utilities, man. Come on. That should be the first thing that should have been went. Why are we letting these corporations chew us the fuck up every month in utilities? It's something that we should not be paying. And as soon as you see somebody run on that, that's how you know they're fucking serious. Because that's a corporation, a company. Companies. GE and all these companies that's eating off of this oil. Like what? Are we still using fossil fuels when we got people who invented cars that can run on water? We can have a fucking solar power car that we never have to charge because it charges itself while we drive. But we got to plug our cars in. When we have the technology to do this stuff, what are we talking about? This is got you how you got to understand what's happening. Pay attention, man. It's the questions that's not being asked, the stuff that's being said that doesn't make sense, that show you what the fuck is going on. Shit is control. It's bullshit. Nobody's implementing nothing that's for the people. This is for the agenda. It's always been that way. Will continue to be that way until they reach their plan. It just is what it is. So people hitting me up, people bickering in the comment section, people hype Trump. Yes, Trump. Like they getting some fucking money, like Trump about to write them a check. The fuck is y'all so hype about? Pay attention to what the news is talking about. Pay attention. Shit look like a nightmare. So yeah, you're gonna get what you asked for, but buckle up, get ready, because what I'm seeing is, it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, wanted to put this video out because everybody, what are you gonna talk about politics? What do you think? I mean, come on, y'all know where I stand with all this shit. It didn't matter who got in, the agenda is set. I know Kamala is so happy it's over. She had to put herself through that. And it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do when you understand. But she had, standing ovation and people. That was so esoteric. Like you had to understand that moment. She came back to the White House. She told people, we got work to do. We got to get back to work. You had all these people out there clapping for this woman because they knew what she just went through. But she had to do this inside shit. She's not running for no presidency. It's some bullshit. It just is what it is. But, you understand when you understand. But, links are in the description. I'm telling you, we got a lot going on. We've been doing a lot. I'm putting a lot of information in society. People is making money. It's benefiting a lot of people. A lot of good information going on. You're going to be a part of society. Make sure you join out. I don't want to hear shit when it's $500. You have an opportunity to get in now. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the consultations while it's in there now. You have a chance to talk to somebody who's made millions of dollars. I made millions. I showed you guys all this shit. Millions and millions of dollars. I showed you guys everything. You have an opportunity to talk to somebody who's done it, who's been there, and can help you out with what you're trying to do. So if you're in a society, you already got the information. I showed you guys how to make 3 new incomes, how to make money. More to come on that. So we got into the personal economics in the last video. All the information is super helpful. More to come. We have the stock class coming up, how to build your stock portfolio. That's coming up. How, man, $1,000 in penny stock, you should be making $200 to $700 every single day. We're going to get into that. It's a lot going on. So again, you got a chance. Don't be crying because there's a lot coming up. When the app come out and you see what's happening and everything that's coming out, it's going to be too late for you. And that's the end of that. But we'll get into a lot more of this on a deeper level within the society. And I'll put some videos out or what have you. I probably said too much as it is on YouTube. So we'll see what happens with this video. But yeah, see you guys next video. Make sure if you're a Scholar Society member, you check your emails. I'll see you guys next video.